Right now on KPIX 5 and streaming on CBSN Bay Area, a push to get guns out of the wrong hands. A new team has been formed to remove those weapons from certain people who pose a threat of violence. Good evening, I'm Alan Martin.
And I'm Veronica De La Cruz. KPIX 5's Devin Fehely is in Santa Clara County with the story.
When someone with a felony record or a history of domestic violence shoots and kills someone with a gun, we often ask ourselves in the aftermath of that tragedy, why wasn't more done to prevent it? Why didn't someone get those guns out of that person's hands? The Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office now believes they have a more effective way to go about that.
When you disarm someone who is dangerous, you are potentially saving a life.
When Timoteo Morales shot and killed his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his son in a parking lot of a San Jose Denny's 2 years ago, it was the tragic culmination of a years-long pattern of physical abuse, threats, and intimidation, and the collective failure to protect the woman at whom those threats were aimed, Syria Sanchez Diaz.
Often these cases fall through the cracks, and that is a risk that we're not willing to take here in Santa Clara County.
The Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office is forming a dedicated 5-person unit focused on taking guns out of the hands of convicted felons, people charged with domestic violence, and people with restraining orders. The seizures will ultimately be handled by special teams within the police department.
We can't just knock on the door and ask nicely for a gun back. It often requires the SWAT team, special operations.
Because the seizure of guns, especially in the context of an abusive or unraveling relationship, are some of the most dangerous situations officers can find themselves in, the DA's office says their actions will be targeted and prioritized to go after the most dangerous offenders.
So we are very careful, we are very methodical. Safety is our #1 concern for everybody involved. It's not anything that we'll ever rush into.
After he shot Syria, Timoteo turned the gun on himself, the couple's young son orphaned by the same awful act. A preventable tragedy the DA's office hopes to spare some future family from. The Board of Supervisors will vote on Tuesday whether or not to fund those positions on that team permanently. In San Jose, Devin Fehely, KPIX 5.